Hey y'all, it's Jeremy Osterberger at BIC Magazine. We're here at the Gulf Coast Industry Forum, and I'm joined by Sharon Hulgan, Lead Site Manufacturing Director for Houston for Dow. How are we doing, Sharon?
Doing great. Great to see you, Jeremy.
Always great to see you. So, Sharon, we have a similar background in our childhood, and that was both of our fathers worked for Dow. I want you to dig into that. You're just on stage talking about that and how that impacted you.
Absolutely. So, my dad went to work for Dow in the late 1960s. And so I grew up going to annual Easter egg hunts on the grounds there near the chemical plant site and to the annual family day. And I saw the type of lifestyle his job in the chemical industry afforded for my family. The types of vacations we were able to take, the ability to save for a college education. And my mother was a huge influence in encouraging me to pursue a career similar to the one that my father held at Dow.
That's exactly right. Same thing. And my mom held down the fort so my dad could work all those turnarounds in his career, right? So Sharon, you've been with Dow since 1991. Talk a little bit about your background and how you got to where you are now.
Absolutely. So I started in Dow as an alternating term co-op. So that was working a semester, going to school a semester, and I did that while I was finishing my chemical engineering degree at LSU. I got out of LSU at a time when there was a restructure and downsizing. So I actually didn't go work directly for Dow immediately. I went to work for Allied Signal in the refrigerants industry. And I did that because the refrigerants industry seemed to not be commodity chemicals. I lived in South Louisiana and I thought everybody needs and wants AC. This will be a stable, non-cyclical business. But I also joined it during Montreal Protocol. So it was an incredible, exciting time to be in an industry that was revitalizing its product mix and bringing products to market first and really transforming that industry. But even though I loved doing that and the excitement of new products and new processes, I missed the family atmosphere, the values that Dow had. And I missed the subject matter expertise that were at your fingertips, just a phone call away, people that were incredibly brilliant in technology and being able to phone a friend in that space. And so my path brought me back into Dow in 1997 in research and development. And I've held a variety of roles in research and development, capital projects. I've been a small site leader. I was a site logistics leader. I was the leader for environmental health and safety of the global coatings business before coming here to the Houston area in 2015 as a large site production director, and then moved on to Freeport, where I held some site leadership roles, and have returned here to the Houston Hub for Dow to lead the Houston Hub, which is assets here in Deer Park, also Texas City vinyl acetate monomer plant, and the Bayport specialty monomers plant.
So Sharon, let's talk about Dow's global strategy. You covered a little bit of that. Can you kind of just give us a quick overview of where Dow is and globally, what is the company trying to accomplish?
Absolutely. So we've made commitments for 2050 to be net carbon neutral. So our strategy is around decarbonize and grow. It's easy to do one or the other, but it's quite complicated to do both. You can decarbonize by shrinking quite effectively, but to grow while decarbonizing requires a lot of innovation, a lot of partnerships with government entities, to provide incentives to decarbonize our assets. We produce about 35 million metric tons of CO2 a year. And that sounds like a lot, but it's only 0.1% of the global CO2 emissions. So even if we have zero, you still have 999 other parts of the thousand that we don't influence, but we're excited to do our part to impact CO2 and climate impacts.
So Sharon, talk a little bit more about some of the projects that are happening more domestic. We talked about the global strategy. How about domestically or even in the Houston area that are aligned with Dow's global strategy?
Absolutely. We are looking at new technology. We have a project that's announced in Seadrift for 480 megawatt small modular nuclear reactors that will essentially decarbonize the energy production for that site and enable that site that produces a couple of billion pounds a year of products to do so net CO2 neutral from an energy steam perspective. which it puts us on our way to those 2050 goals. We're also looking at alternate technologies that are more CO2 friendly, even for some of the products that we manufacture here in Deer Park. There is a lower CO2, lower feedstock option cost for methyl methacrylate production, and we are evaluating that for a potential capital expenditure in the near future.
Thank you for that update. Sharon, what are some of your concerns? You mentioned a couple on stage. What's challenging?
So I have concerns around public policy, who is elected, and what legislation happens with regard to access to both low-cost feedstocks and low-cost energy. I've been in this industry long enough to remember the cycles when energy prices really forced some downsizing in our industry. And I remember the excitement around 2012, 2013 when fracking transformed our industry. And so my concerns are really around, will that technology continue to be embraced as it's exercised responsibly? And will the U.S. continue to be a world leader in energy production so that we can also be a world leader in chemical manufacturing?
Thanks, Sharon. Now, one piece of that as well is digitalization and digital acceleration. Real quick, tell us kind of where y'all at with your journey in digital acceleration.
Well, we are excited to have a fully functional private LTE network that operates on our Deer Park site. That enables our operators to be anywhere out in the plant and have access to our intranet. So they can work off digital tablets, either the size of a small toughbook computer or the size of a handheld phone, access their procedures, access relevant plant information, and communicate via that device with the control room. It's wonderful because it enables us to have that electronic record of the procedure and really doesn't allow you to advance the procedure until you've done all the steps. And so it's a great way to reinforce the right behaviors we want to see to deliver the safety and environmental performance we want from our operating technicians.
And Sharon, is that being done kind of in the Houston area, or what about other sites along the Gulf Coast?
So it has been done in other sites along the Gulf Coast. Freeport has a good bit of digital procedure use, and it's also being done in St. Charles, operations in Louisiana, and in Plaquemine. The larger sites were targeted first because it's the greater impact. It's a significant infrastructure investment, millions of dollars, to be able to operate that private LTE network so that our information is secure and not hackable from an outside entity, but the people who need access to it have ready, continuous access without interruption.
Well, Sharon, we know you're busy. We thank you so much for your time. One last comment, and that is go Tigers.
Go Tigers.